Alright, y'all. So we back again with another video. So today we are going to be going over one of the newest characters on the global side of the game. Now, I say new for global, but obviously it's not a new character on JP. It's actually a character that's been here for quite some time, roughly about 4-ish months, right? Let's talk about it. So we're back here again with another Maki. So this time we're going to be showcasing the big fight with Longsword Maki, because she's definitely using a long sword here, as we can see, right? For sure, buddy. Yeah, anyways, it feels like someone at the Billy headquarters fucking hates Maki. First, we had the rebellious failure for the red SSR, and now we have this. Like, it literally makes no sense what they're doing with this fucking character. So anyways, as you know, Maki has been on Fraud Watch since day one because of Red Maki, because she's so fucking trash. But good news to all the Maki fans, Green Maki is actually a really good character. She might not be the best green character, but she definitely gets the job done. Let's take a look at what makes her not be a complete fraud. So we're going to go over, obviously, her passive skills, then we're going to go over her skills and all that good stuff, right? So we have her auto skills, so it's quite simple and it's very effective. She has like a mini Toji passive. I believe this is, yeah, so Heavenly Restriction. So she has a mini Toji passive because of her Heavenly Restriction, basically buffing her physical stats up to 30%, and then it decreases her damage received by 8%, and then heals herself by 2% every turn. She also has like the usual Maki passive, which gives her physical stat by, increased by 10% for 2 turns. Nothing special though, right? This is nothing crazy. So now we're going to go on to skill 2. So her skill 2, I believe, is the first skill that released with the turn cooldown, right? So basically skills that are limited based on how often you can use them. Essentially, even though all her skills cost 0 cursed energy, they kind of nerfed it by not allowing you to use it for 2 turns, right? So you're basically on a cooldown after you use it anyways. It kind of sucks since Toji doesn't have any restrictions with his kit, which is more broken than hers. She increases her own damage and then gets up to 100% damage boost the less enemies there are, debuffs the enemies by increasing their physical damage received, and it's an AoE attack. And the multiplier might be low, but the damage boost makes up for it slightly, so it's not that big of a deal. Now we're going to go to skill 1. Now this is going to be the best part, right? So probably one of the best skill 1s in the entire game. Obviously not counting Junpei's in the right situation. Its damage is alright, but if she crits, she will increase the physical damage increase to an enemy by 30% for 3 turns. That's literally strong as fuck. Like you basically have an amazing debuff that's essentially free as long as you are critting. And it does pretty decent damage, right? So I definitely think it's definitely one of the more powerful ones in the game in terms of doing damage output. Now we have her skill 3. So her skill 3 is Big Swing, and it has an insane breaking potential as it increases her break damage by 300% and her crit rate by 100%. That is a lot. Its damage multiplier is quite low though, so don't expect any high numbers here, but you definitely got some good breaking potential. Next up we have her special. So it's just your usual big special nuke. Interestingly, this one has the damage increase by up to 150% depending on how high her HP is. Not the best condition you'd like to have, but it makes her special essentially a 2,400% multiplier, which is very, very, very high. Usual rotations would be like, skill 3 into skill 1 2 times, and then into skill 2, which you'll get the crit buff, which guarantees for your next skill 1 to activate their debuff. Her skill 2 will be doing the damage, and then alternatively, you can spam skill 3 if you're looking to break the boss fast. But yeah, that's basically going to be the character. She's pretty simple and straightforward, though. Doesn't have anything very complicated about her. I guess it's more so her rotations. But her rotations aren't that difficult either once you get used to it. Like maybe play around her a little bit and then you'll kind of get the knack for it, the feel for it. Anyways, without further ado, let's actually go over the team and what we're going to be doing. All right, so we are here at the... Ooh, wrong one. We're here at the team, and normally we do a nuke showcase and then obviously a normal showcase, but I feel like for this character, you can kind of just do both in one. So we're just going to do one team. We're going to have Yaga here because Yaga is obviously going to be our buffer. Domain Megami is usually in a lot of these teams. Even when you're doing a normal team, Megami kind of sits and fits there very well. And then especially on the nuke teams, he does too. So we'll be using him. Then we have Yuki. He's going to be our Curse Energy regen. On top of that, we have a memory to kind of have the enemies target him immediately so we can get rid of him, so we can have Gakuganji pull up. And then we have, of course, our Maki, who's going to be the star of the show. And then Gakuganji in the back, like I just mentioned, he's going to pull up and then, be a debuffer. Now, in terms of memories, we have this memory on Yaga because this is a free-to-play memory. On top of that, it gives you 15% physical damage increase, I believe, for 2 turns. Yeah, for all allies, so it's not bad. It's pretty good, especially free to play. Then we have the Shoko memory, the Doctor's Turn. This is a really good memory. If you don't know what it does, it applies a 10% physical tech and a curse technique increase to all allies for 3 turns, 10%. So it has a long duration. On top of that, while you also have the passive of it, where the 3rd turn starts, it can only be used once per battle. Applies a 10% technique increase to all allies for 4 turns, and then curse technique. So you do have a long duration of buffs for your entire team, which isn't that bad. It's actually very nice. This memory is just to kind of get our Yuki out of there, get as much damage on him as possible so he can die. Like-minded sisters on Maki, because usually that's kind of the best memory that you can put on her, because she's obviously always physical and it does charge up her ult very rapidly. And then Gakuganji is going to have Kamo's Archery Lesson. You don't necessarily need to use Kamo's Archery Lesson. You can use the SO Kenshitsu one, the Wasp. That one works just as well, but this one's obviously a little bit better, so we're going to be using Kamo's Archery Lesson here. And yeah, let's see what stage we'll do and kind of showcase off the character. Alright, so we're here in the fight. Obviously, I already mentioned it earlier. We're going to try to get Yuki to die, so we're just going to be stalling a little bit. Hopefully getting our Yuki out of here so we can move on to our Gakuganji coming out. We're going to be stalling quite a bit because we also want to get our domain Megami's ult up, so we're going to use skill 3 here on one of the mobs. We're going to use skill 3 on Yuki. He does have the top memory, so 3 turns he's going to be getting attacked. Here we're going to use our skill 3 on our Maki and clear out one of the, little guys. Now, obviously, the usual rotation for her is going to be skill 3 because this is going to, and I'm going to tell you each one first, and then I'll tell you in the order of it and everything. So we're going to use skill 3 here because that's going to, of course, increase break damage. We don't really care too much about that. But on top of that, we are also going to be receiving the 100% crit rate buff for 3 turns, meaning that you go into your skill 1 2 times because your skill 1 will increase damage taken to the enemy for 3 turns, and then that's going to apply 27% of it for the Ya, because obviously she's green. And with that, you'll have that 100% crit rate to make it more frequent, to make sure that she debuffs the enemy. And you only do it for those 2 turns. You don't do it for a 3rd turn because obviously you won't have the crit rate anymore. And then you could just either go into your skill 2 to cleave, or you can go into your ult and do damage because you'll have the 2 debuffs active on the enemy, right? So we'll skill 3 here. You probably wondering, why didn't I buff the first turn? I probably have enough curse energy. The reason I didn't do that is because I didn't do it one of the other times, and the biggest problem that happened is my Yuki survived all the way into the boss stage, and because of that, it was very difficult to actually get what I needed. When I had to get Gakuganji out, and I needed his, I needed his curse energy. He didn't have any because obviously we literally just didn't die. Alright, so that's good. Yuki's out. Now we can just go in and start hammering on the enemies. So we have enough curse energy, so we can just buff here. Skill 3 with Megami. I should be able to kill him and then give a little bit more special gauge for our Megami here. We'll just skill 1 here, and then skill 1 again because we still have the crit rate increase. Okay, he's dead. Nice. Not bad. We'll buff again. Skill 3 here. Skill 1. And then I believe it was skill 1 again. Or I could skill 3 here if he lives, and then just move on into a skill 2 for the next stage. Let's see, can I buff again? Yeah, I probably can, right? Because I'll be down to 50, and then 3 turns of buffing will give me 20, will give me 30 more curse energy. No, we'll just use skill 1. Skill 1. We'll do some AoEs, fuck it, we just AoE cleave them here. Like this. That should be more than enough. Really good cleave damage, as you can see. Way better than, of course, the red Maki. So here we're going to use our buff with our Yaga. We're going to ult with our Megami. We're going to skill 3 with our Gakuganji, right? He should have enough curse energy. Yeah, he does. Skill 3 with our Gakuganji. And then we're going to skill 3 here with our Maki, going into 2 skill 1s, right? because then we'll use 2 skill 1s in Shadow Garden, which is going to debuff him, so that way in the final turn we do the big damage. Hopefully we're able to break the boss in time, hopefully, so we can get that extra big juicy damage. That would be the best case scenario. But I don't want to stall too long, because if I stall too long, then our Yago would probably die, and then, yeah, I'd probably have to do the run all over again. Okay, he's stunned. Debuff. Good damage, as you can see there. Now we're going to use the memory, because not this one, but the next memory. We're going to buff here. We're going to use this memory, the Shoko memory, because of course the Shoko memory lasts for 3 turns. And then we'll use skill 1 on top of it to debuff the enemy. We'll debuff one more time with Gaku Ganji. We'll use Combo's Archery Lesson the following turn because it lasts for 2 turns. We're going to skill 1 here with our Maki. This is the first turn of Shadow Garden, so keep in mind. If the crit rate increases, which means we're going to be able to debuff him easily with our Maki. Okay, so he lived perfect. I was kind of worried that he was probably going to die because, like, look at his HP. Ridiculous. So now we're going to use the memory here because we're on the second turn of Shadow Garden, which means we have 2 more turns of it. We'll buff again. We'll skill 1 here to debuff him. We'll use Combo's Archery Lesson because now we're in the final 2 turns. We'll skill 3 here. And then we'll skill 1 more time with our Maki. Hopefully we don't kill here with our Maki. That would be kind of... Yeah, that would be kind of that'd be kind of GG. I think our Megumi's probably gonna kill though. Yeah, I think we do too much damage. Oh wait, no, I think we're good. Perfect. Alright, so here we go. As you can see, 10 million damage. 10 million. Again, like I said, this character is not bad at all. This character is really powerful. It's just obviously, would you want to use a Maki or would you rather use Hollow Purple Gojo, who takes less setup and is very, very fast in doing what he needs to do in quick killing all his enemies? It's just like in most cases you would just use Hollow Purple Gojo, but if you definitely want a physical green character, Maki is definitely the girl because as you can see there, she did really good damage. She's very easy, very simple, straightforward. You just skill 3, get that crit rate increase, you have that break damage, you move into your skill 1 for the 2 turns that you have left on your crit rate increase, so that way you can get those debuffs on the enemy because she's able to debuff herself, which is nice. And then on top of that, you just either go into your skill 2 to cleave if you're doing mobs, and then you could also use your ult if you're doing a boss, right? And it's very easy to actually get to your ultimate because you have a crit rate increase, which if you're using like-minded scissors, which you should be, you're going to have a high crit rate, which means you're also going to be able to get to your ult very rapidly just because you have that skill 3 boosting that character. So yeah, overall, very powerful character. I don't think she's really bad whatsoever. A lot of people don't use her, but if you're a Maki enjoyer, she's definitely a good character. But again, if you're pulling for her before, the global half anniversary, which is literally in about a month from now, you're literally fucking yourself and you deserve to fucking just get fucked. I'm not gonna lie. That it is what it is. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video, but that's going to be the Maki showcase.